Glambitious. Glambitious Talk Show.
Hello everyone, I am Lily Mae and welcome to another episode of Glambitious Talk. As always, I love to bring you dynamic business owners from around the world, and today's no different. If this is your first time tuning in, make sure you head over to theglamceo.com to learn about our many events and opportunities to advance your business. Miss Francis, introduce yourself to everyone and tell them a little bit about who you are and what you do.
First, I want to say thank you for having me. I'm so excited to be here on your show. We've done some things in the past, but to be on your show, I'm super excited. Just a little bit about me. My name is Dr. Francis Ann Bailey. So I wear a lot of hats, right? I'm a mom, I'm a wife, entrepreneur, chaplain. So I do a lot of marketplace ministry. I want to keep things a little short. I guess I don't want to go too long, but several different entities. I have a charity organization, an enterprise, a school. I train those at a hub. And I'm also the founder of an education network where I cover and have a lot of education, universities, colleges, training academies that come together, and I just help them grow and expand.
Wow, now this is the definition of a powerhouse, okay? When we talk about the word powerhouse, this is what we're talking about. So being that you wear so many hats in this season, what do you feel like you're most excited about as far as your work and efforts are concerned?
Listen, I'm never taken away from parenthood and being a wife, right? So that's number one. But if we're going to just talk about the industry of business and entrepreneurship, I would say my school is my focus, right? So I do, like I said, I am the founder of a lot of entities, but my school right now is one of the major businesses that is really, really blooming and expanding.
I love it. Tell us more about the school.
So it really started as me just training someone, right? I just started like a life coaching certification course. I didn't even have a name really for it. I just called it life coaching certification course. And I started training someone and they finished and it was like, I want another certification. And I was like, wait a minute. And before I knew it, I had people coming to me wanting this certification course. After a while, I was like, this is a school, because in the middle of training them, they're like, so how did you launch a book? Well, how did you land a TEDx stage? Well, how do I, and I was just like, wait a minute, this is so much bigger than what I'm making it. So I took myself out of the box and I named it Purposeville Academy. So then I formed that school. Eventually, from doing that, I realized that it's a lot more. They started asking me questions, and instead of pretending I knew it all, I said, I think it's time to build a team. Right, and so I started building a team with those with different backgrounds in different industries and gave them the ability to teach in their lane, in their industry under the academy. And I wanted to be different. I wanted to be that golden egg. So I said, you know what, this is going to be a marketplace training academy. I see a lot of Bible colleges, right? I was like, nah, that's not it. I want to do marketplace education for faith-based entrepreneurs. And from there, it just grew.
Wow, I love that. And I think it's so amazing to take such a huge undertaking, because I'm sure there are many people that want to pursue that, but they think about, all of the challenges and how hard it is to navigate, and you went for it and it was successful. So tell us about some of the challenges along the way and how you overcame those challenges.
Yes. Some of it is team building, right? Finding the right team and the right individuals, right, that are really going to want to be a part of your vision. Because forget it, at the end of the day, they're coming in and bringing their lane to teach, but it's the vision of the academy. So it's making sure that those really had a heart for the vision. So that was one of the obstacles, just making sure and using a little bit of discernment on who should be on the team. Also accreditations, right? So we hear all the legalities, and you hear about all the fancy stuff, right? You hear about all the honors and what the school consists of, but no one ever thinks about the funding that comes behind it, right? So that was one of the challenges, like what accreditation should I choose? Evaluating the accreditations, ensuring that, the credentialing of the school, that who I was using had good integral standing at the end of the day. So evaluating that, one of the obstacles was making sure that I did not rush. That I was building, so to be patient, because if you put it together fast, it'll fall fast. And so I wanted to make sure that, I really took my time, really evaluated and studied what I needed to build this school so it would last. And so overcoming some fear, people pleasing, come on, right? I had to get past that. What is she doing? I ain't heard of that. It's like, what making you do that? Well, don't everybody, I had to put my blinders on and focus. But having a strong accountability partner, right? And you don't have to have a whole big clique of people. I just had one person that held me accountable, right? That when I heard them, they say, because unfortunately you can't block it, but I was able to go back in a positive atmosphere to kind of put myself back in a neutral position to keep building.
Yeah, I love that. And it's so important because oftentimes when God gives you a vision, it's a little advanced and people don't understand it. So even when they are being disparaging or discouraging or they don't understand it, it's not even from a negative place. It's just beyond their comprehension. And it's very important that we stay in alignment with God to know, no, God told me to do this. So even if it doesn't make sense to these few people, it will later. Like Absolutely. They will understand when they see that, it makes me think of like Noah. And, I was saying that when you have a vision that people may not quite understand, and then God gives you that vision and it becomes successful, you have to really ignore the discouraging words. And I think, this season is very discouraging for people because there's so much going on in the world. So what would be your advice to women in general who feel uncertain about their finances and business and things of that nature?
So I would say for women who are dealing with hearing all the kind of negativity that's going around is focus on the truth, right? There's going to be facts everywhere. Everything you see on the news, the newspapers, the clips that come on, TV, all that is facts, but you have to hold on to the truth. And the truth is only found in the Word. Right? And so you don't have to be a Bible guru or this Bible scholar, right? I'm not telling you to do that, but you have to have some word there that you can pull back out, that you can declare the truth over your mindset, over your business, over your finances. So when you're faced with, the opposite that's coming after you, you won't believe what's going in your ear gates, right? You're able to protect that and protect your business with the truth.
Absolutely. And, I think that maintaining a certain alignment is very important so that you can, kind of ignore a lot of the noise of the world, but hear God clearly, right? So whether it's going in your prayer closet or just spending a couple of minutes in your word, or even just a couple of minutes with the phone turned off and asking God, like, Lord, guide me in this area of business or in this area of life so that he can give you some divine instructions that are going to advance you no matter what's going on. It makes me think about when the pandemic hit and many of us were worried as entrepreneurs, but the Lord provided and we're still here today. So let everyone know, how they can work with you, how they can stay connected with you, follow you on social media, all the things.
So thank you for having me. But one of the ways that you can connect with me is if you go straight to my website, www.francesannbailey.com. Also, if you choose to email me, it's at info@francesannbailey.com. And if you choose to go straight to social media, my social media handle is at @FrannyAnnBailey.
Perfect. And is there anything else that you would want viewers to know about you, the powerhouse, if this is their first time being introduced to you?
Listen, I wear a lot of hats, right? But you have to learn how to balance, right? And one thing I have learned in entrepreneurship and being a faith-based minister is knowing where your first ministry is, right? Being in alignment, as she was saying, you have to be in alignment with God because there are certain seasons he will tell you work on this, and certain seasons he will say put that down. And so if you're not in alignment, you will feel overwhelmed and feel like you have to do it all within a certain amount of time. So you have to keep your ear to his heart to hear what he has to say to you for your business.
I love it. I think in this season, it's so important to stay connected with faith-based entrepreneurs like Frances, like myself, so that you can get the encouragement you need and you can stay anchored even in the most discouraging times. So I encourage you to make sure that you follow her and tap into the offers and things that she has that are going to help you thrive in this season and make the next year your best year. I'll be sure to put all of her information below this video so that you can click it and stay connected, and let her know that you found her here on Glambitious Talk. Listen, if this is your first time tuned in, I invite you to meet us at Essence Festival, meet us at Martha's Vineyard, meet us at Atlanta, because we're hosting brunches to connect dynamic women of faith around the country, and you are invited. Yes, you can sit with us, and you can also follow me on Instagram at I am Lily Mae. So thank you again for tuning in to another episode of Glambitious Talk. Bye-bye.